What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chronicles of a Chef. I'm Scott Hamilton, and today we are going to be cooking some brunch. Mother's Day is right around the corner, so we know we gotta make something delicious. Shakshuka is an easy brunch that you can make ahead of time and all those things, but today we're gonna put a twist. We're gonna add Mexican flavors because the flavors of Mexico lend itself so well to a dish like shakshuka. It's warm and it's roasty and it's delicious and it's comforting and all the delicious things. You can make it as spicy as you want, you can make it not as spicy as you want. Use cans, use fresh, everything can be from scratch. It's whatever you want. You can't go wrong. Best of all, you can make fun little individual portions, or you can make it for the masses. Either way, it'll be easy, delicious, and oh so good. Let's get cooking. All right, let's get cooking this Mexican style shakshuka. It's gonna be delicious. I've got my pan nice and hot. It's a pan that can go in the oven. We'll talk about that a little later. It's not necessary. There's all sorts of options, but something that's gonna be able to retain and hold that heat and give us good sears is something that we really wanna make sure we're having. So first thing that's gonna go into this is my chicken chorizo that I made. This is how I made it. Typically, shakshuka is vegetarian. I wanted to add a little meat. I had these chicken tenders that needed to get kind of used up. There was a buy one, get one free deal. So I bought these chicken tenders and I was like, oh, I gotta use it. Let's try to make our own like home style chorizo. So we got some chipotle sauce in it. We did a little High Desert Kitchen's Escalante seasoning in there. And then the key, I think, for chorizo, for Mexican style chorizos, that a lot of people will forget or people miss, is the vinegar. You want like an apple cider or a distilled white vinegar, something that's a little bit on the smaller flavor side. You don't want to use a lemon or a lime because that can be overpowering. It's not there to taste the vinegar, but there's that tang that Mexican style chorizo has. There's smoky, there's spicy, there's all those other ingredients, but there's that little tang that I feel like they have that people miss. And so I made sure to put some apple cider vinegar in there, and then I just let that sit for about an hour or so before we started cooking. It's smelling delicious. And remember, don't blend this. You want to make sure you're using either a food processor or pre-ground meat. Your blender's going to turn it into like a paste. Your food processor is going to chop at it, and it can turn to a paste if you go long enough, but if you pulse it, it'll give you this nice crumble that we really want. We're not going to worry about cooking this all the way through because we're going to build everything in this pan together. Now, half a white onion here that I kind of chopped up more finely, and then the other half we're going to use later on. But I charred it just one side just to kind of start developing flavors, start to soften those things up, but get a little bit of char, a little extra sweetness, all that deliciousness. So, got that in there. All right, yeah. I got about a tablespoon and a half of garlic minced up. We're gonna throw that in. Whoa, this is smelling absolutely delicious. We got some more fresh oregano. I put some into the chorizo, and this chorizo is going to bring a lot of flavor, so I'm not really stressed about adding more seasonings or anything like that because there's so much flavor packed into the chorizo, and that's going to do a whole lot of work. And then at the end, we can adjust those seasonings and make sure that we're happy with it. But again, just to kind of build up the flavors, we're also going to throw in some chopped up cilantro right now. And that's just to add layers of the cilantro and the oregano flavor throughout the entire dish. It helps give you good depth. I got 3 Roma tomatoes that I just chopped, and I really just want something really good that's going to help make it chunky. These are going to break down. They're going to give us nice liquid and be a little saucy. It's going to be great. I think the chicken chorizo is cooked all the way through. I'm not stressed about it, but I want to give it a little try just to see kind of what we're doing. Delicious. I think all in all, this is pretty good. The crumble on it makes it feel much more like a traditional Mexican chorizo. Oh yeah, that's delicious. Woo, yeah. Go ahead and we're gonna add to this a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of our chipotle sauce. I like using this sauce as a way to help control my spice levels. And then you can always add spice later. You can always give hot sauces. You can always give fresh jalapenos, serranos. You can do all sorts of things to add heat later. Right now, I'm not looking necessarily for heat. I'm just looking for depth of flavor. And I want that chipotle, that smoky flavor, that pepper flavor that comes with your chipotle. Oh, yeah. Look, we're getting a little saucy down here. Those tomatoes are starting to break down. I didn't strain the juice of these tomatoes. I wanted that to help give us that liquid base that you find typically in a shakshuka. And these fresh tomatoes are going to break down and they're going to add some liquid. A great way to counteract the kind of aluminum can tastes that you can get with your canned tomatoes and things like that is sugar. Sugar is going to help. A little bit of vinegar can help. Salt isn't going to really help because there's already a lot of sodium in these cans for preservation purposes. We're going to have sweetness later in the form of sugar to help kind of counteract that and reignite the natural sweetness that comes from our tomatoes. We can go ahead and just dump that whole thing in there. Let's give that a stir. Oh, now we're getting nice and saucy. Can of black beans, straight in. Teaspoon of some Better Than Bouillon roasted garlic, because that's what I have. Chicken stock, veggie broth, any of those things will do. Even like a bone broth would work, you know? Get all that mixed in. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of sugar. Again, it's not there for like, I want sweetness in it. It's there to help kind of balance out the canned tomato and make them taste closer to fresh. There we go. Now that we've kind of let that all work together, I'm gonna add about a third to a half cup of water, and that's to help with that bouillon, to help kind of spread that out. And then also it's gonna give us a little bit more of a saucy feel. Roasted peppers. One of my most favorite ingredients, one of my most favorite flavors, and one of my most favorite smells. A roasted pepper is intoxicating to me. Oh, I absolutely love it. All right, so we're gonna throw these guys in. This would have never fit in my little cast iron. And the only reason why I'm doing this much is I wanted a poblano, so I got poblanos. I think that roasted poblano flavor is so beautiful and it's unique. But then I had 2 bell peppers that were like on the way out, so I was like, well, we gotta use all those peppers. And then to balance that out, I need a whole onion instead of like a half an onion. And I like to use whole ingredients anyway. By whole, I mean I like to be able to say, I'm going to use an entire bunch of parsley. I'm going to use a whole pepper instead of I need a quarter cup or whatever. I like to try to cook using the entire ingredient, minimizes leftovers, and it's just going to make it extra good. All right, here we go. This is looking absolutely beautiful to me. All right, let's go ahead and give this a little try. That's tasting absolutely delicious. We're going to throw in just a hair more cilantro. This is about a third of a bunch of cilantro. The other third went into the chorizo, and then I have another third that we'll chop for garnish. Again, using that entire bunch of cilantro, we are going to hit it with just a little bit more High Desert Kitchen's Escalante seasoning. It's like a taco Mexican style seasoning that's like really Cuban inspired, but it has chipotle, it has orange peel in it. It's got cinnamon, and so it's like warm and inviting. Ooh, it's real good. So we're gonna go ahead and mix those together. And that's the seasoning that I put in the chorizo. You can use like any taco seasoning, or you can use individual spices and put them in as much as you want, or grind them yourself. There's all sorts of delicious things that you can do. We're gonna hit it with some lime juice. Whoops. That'll mix. Now we're just looking to cook this down until our peppers are to the doneness that we want, and it just kind of softens everything up. Go ahead and grab a pepper, a little bit of everything. I mean, that's a beautiful bite right there. Oh, hot. Yes, delicious. Flavor-wise, it is absolutely delicious. I think we could go a little spicier, even for my kiddos. So I'm gonna add another tablespoon of this chipotle sauce. And then to go with that, we'll do just a little bit more lime on this right here. Give that a little mix. All right, so we're gonna put a lid on this and we're gonna let this cook for about 5 to 8 minutes. Just let it kind of simmer, and it's gonna be, oh, so good. All right, let's take a look at this. Whoa, yeah, that is looking absolutely beautiful. We're getting saucy, but not crazy saucy. Oh yeah, look at all those beautiful colors. Man, it's looking good. We've got options when it comes to poaching junior eggs. You can do it directly in your pan. If you have it's a smaller pan, you're not serving as many people, you can go, this is a smaller tray, but like a 9x13 kind of a deal. Or if you got some fun little cute things that can go into the oven, you can do individual. That's the beautiful thing. You can make this the day before your brunch. Day before Mother's Day, rock this thing out. You're ready to rock and roll the next day. It's going to be easy to feed a large group of people. We got our kind of Mexican style shakshuka deliciousness here. What we'll do is We'll go ahead and get a little scoopy scoop of everything. We'll throw it in our pan. A little bit more of the sauce. This, the same kind of thing. And then I'm gonna do some more in here, just so we can see all the different options, you know? All right, we're gonna make little divots for our eggs. Now, if you do it on the stove in your pan, it'll take about 6 to 8 minutes to get like a nice soft yolk. I'm gonna put mine in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 190 Celsius. It's gonna be about the same amount of time. So you're just looking for solid whites, and then it all depends on what you want your egg yolk to look like. So, and then we're gonna throw our egg down, because I just threw eggs on top of this. I am gonna hit everything with a little bit of salt. I got some cheese here. This is kind of like your quesadilla melting Oaxaca style kind of cheese. Whatever cheese you want to do, queso fresco, cotija, all those will be delicious on it. There is not a wrong answer, let's be real. All right, I'm gonna throw these on here. Oh yeah, all the cheese, let's go. I mean, obviously all the cheese. I am not gonna cover these. I'm just gonna throw them right into the oven, and then we'll get working on our garnish. All right, let's get talking our garnishes. Really, it's gonna be simple. We're gonna do some cilantro, some avocado. You can always use like some crema or sour cream. All those things would be another salsa, hot sauces, sliced jalapenos or serranos, habaneros if you want to get crazy. It's whatever you want. When I'm chopping cilantro to go over the top, I like to fold mine in half. Okay, almost like we're gonna do a chiffonade and kind of roll it in on itself. And then I'm gonna just run my knife through like so. And then it kind of has this like roll to it. And then I'm just gonna rock my knife through it this way. And then it gives us these really big but chopped leaves that makes the stems a little bit more manageable. And I just love it. And I'm all for eating the stems on cilantro and parsley. I know texturally they can be a little rough, but they have so much flavor that it's hard for me to be like, no, I don't want that. Let's talk avocado. So we're obviously going to slice it in half. We're gonna roll a knife through. We're not gonna slice our hands off. Ooh, apparently I didn't cut in a straight line. That's okay. It's delicious. Here's the trick. If you want these beautiful like slices, we're gonna go ahead and take just the tiniest bit off the end. Flip it, and take the tiniest bit off that other end. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel it. And just like that, we have this beautifully peeled avocado. And what we're gonna do here is now you can slice it however you want. Oh, don't do that. And then you can roll your knife on it and you get your beautiful little guys like this. So there's one way to slice your avocado. Cut the end off, cut the end off, give it a nice peel. You can also slice it this way. All depends on what a style you want, the aesthetic you're looking for. There you go. We're gonna go ahead and slice that in half because I think those are just too big and unmanageable. So we're gonna drop this here. I'll drop that there. Ooh, team. Look at this. Beautiful. These took a little longer. These cooked a little faster. Part of it, I think, is like oven placement, hot spots, all those kinds of things. I think that this egg yolk is firm. This one is also firm. So 10 minutes was too long for this. But these guys are looking absolutely beautiful. A little on the firm side. So the 10 is getting a little further than what I would like. But I think these are going to be a little bit more, this is going to be fully cooked. This is a little bit more like gelatin-like. Throw some cilantro on here. Drop these beautiful little bits of avocado. This was for 8 people and there's still more. I think this batch size that I just did could feed 12 with ease. But check that out. Let's dig in on this guy. I am super stoked for this. Oh yeah, see? While we overcooked it, I like a runny egg for my shakshuka. I also cooked the yolk perfectly for like a hard-boiled egg. It's not overcooked, it hasn't turned gray or green, anything like that. Love that, but oh, look at that bite. It's massive and it's gonna be delicious. All day. I think a little spritz here of lime will go a long way. Oh, but that is so good. The chicken in there is delightful. Let's go ahead and throw in a little tortilla. Oh yeah, a little bit of everything on that one. So good. That is good. It's really, really simple. The flavors are all there. I feel like this is a really good blend of like what shakshuka is, but I kind of feel like I'm back down in Mexico The chicken is good. I really think that like a traditional like regular chorizo would just like knock this out of the park. But the chicken's a good stand-in. It was fun and it was great to use it up and kind of mess around a little bit. Personally, I would like a little bit more heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of this Yellowbird habanero hot sauce. Throw that down here. Oh yeah, get a little bit of that on there. Whoop. Oh yeah, that heat feels good. That heat was perfect for it. Day of for reheating, I would heat this up on a stove and then put it in the oven, or heat it up in the oven, and then for the last 6 to 8 minutes, throw your eggs in and finish it that way. Maybe one of these eggs will be running. Let's pull it out and see. Give me a little knife action to make sure we don't get this other cheese. Look at that. That was beautiful. But moment of truth. Is this yolk going to be, oh, it popped out the back. Look at that. See how it's nice and like kind of gelatin-like? I love that. Gives it actually like a little creaminess, a little soft texture, almost like it's a pudding. Ooh. Whoop. Let's build the perfect bite here. We got egg yolk, we got sauce, we got chicken, chorizo. Oh, yeah. Tortilla's great. I do love the crunch of the tortilla chip. This is delicious. Let me know down in the comments what you're going to do for brunch this year for Mother's Day. Are you doing brunch? Are you doing dinner? Are you doing breakfast? What are you doing? What are your plans? Thank you so much for watching. If you like these kind of videos where I'm kind of mismatching dishes like this and adding new flavors and mixing things up, make sure you like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and we'll see you next time.